So this clip here, this is actually Nick Tenconi at a protest, a rally, to highlight the plight of paedophiles and grooming gangs and the need of tougher sentences for these people who commit these horrific offences. And we have the far left, Stand Up to Racism, Hope Not Hate, turning up to counter-protest this. You've got to ask yourself a question. Am I on the right side of history if I'm going to a protest that is countering people who are asking for tougher sentences for paedophiles? Because if you're counter-protesting something like that, you're probably not on the right side of history and you're probably not a good person. Just saying. Anyway, Nick Tenconi goes on, I'm going to play the video in a minute, and he gets assaulted by a police officer. Now, this police officer who assaults me looks suspiciously like the police officer that actually converted to Islam in Greater Manchester. You know, the one that goes around virtue singing about how he's so proud to be shaking the hands of Muslims in the street and all this stuff. I think it's the same guy that tries to assault Nick Tenconi. So I'll play the video and I'll show you. Right, so just a question, right? Why is this police officer pushing Nick Tenconi back when there's absolutely no threat to him going towards the crowd whatsoever? We saw the line of police officers in front of the counter-protesting group. There was no way they were getting through. So why is this police officer here taking action and pushing Nick Tenconi back and stopping him from having his free speech in responding to the people that are calling him a fascist and a racist? The police are only there to prevent a breach of the peace. No breach of the peace was taking part there whatsoever. Nick was just standing on the steps, just with his megaphone, shouting back at the crowd who were shouting at him. To me, that is free speech. If people are shouting at you, you're allowed to shout back at them. And the police are only there to make sure things don't get physical. Yet here we have a police officer moving forward, pushing Nick back. And as he does so, he actually knocks another gentleman on the floor by pushing Nick back. And I think this guy here is the same guy that's converted to Islam. He's the one that has converted to Islam. I'm not 100% sure of it. I am. As you can see, a guy falls on the floor there. Yeah, it's the same guy. That's the same guy. What is he trying to do? What is he trying to achieve here? What is the policing method here that he's trying to do? There was nothing taking place. He steps forward and starts pushing Nick Tenconi back. Why? Why? I don't get it. And this looks suspiciously like the guy that's converted to Islam. He really does. Which would explain why he's getting physical with Nick Tenconi, wouldn't it? Because he doesn't like it. Because he's political. And this is the issue. We've seen our police forces over the last few years become more and more political. The Met Police, Greater Manchester Police, Derbyshire Police, all of them are becoming political. And we have to start asking ourselves the question. If they no longer want to play by the rules, if they no longer want to enforce the laws equally, then what is the purpose of them? Why do we need a police force like that won't enforce the law equally and is directly discriminating against people for their political beliefs? Not because they're breaking the law, but for their political beliefs. So that was it. Let's watch it again. Let's watch this again. So there's nothing there. So you can see that the police have everything under control. There's no crowd moving towards Nick Tenconi. He's not moving towards them. He's just on his megaphone, shouting the stuff back at them. Not being abusive, just telling them they're going to go home. Nothing wrong with that. Right, there's absolutely nothing happening there. There's no need for this police officer here to intervene whatsoever in what Nick is saying. He should just be standing back and just letting Nick speak to the crowd that's also hurling abuse at him. He's not even hurling abuse at them. He's just saying, yeah, we're going to send you home. And for some reason, this police officer here takes it upon himself to push Nick back. Why is that? He's nowhere near the crowd. He's not causing any sort of disturbance to these people. He can't get close to them. He's not moving towards them at all. Look at the row of police officers here, look. One, all along there, the row of police officers. There's even a barrier in the way to stop these people moving forward. So why is he moving Nick Tenconi backwards, away from the crowd? Why? That's a question we should all be asking. Why is this happening? And I just want to say as well, this is what a true leader looks like. All those political parties that are saying, oh, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, they're just talking more of the same, aren't they? More of the same that we've heard before. Real leaders stand with the people, side by side, on the front lines, like Nick Tenconi is doing. I'm sorry, but it's just true. It is. And that, for me personally, who is used to hierarchy, like military-wise, that's how leaders get respect. They lead from the front, not from the rear. And that's what Nick Tenconi is doing. He's leading from the front. He's on the ground with the people, just like he was during last summer and the unrest and that sort of thing, when these idiots here were also counter-protesting against the brutal murder of 3 beautiful girls and indeed the injuries of over 10 young girls. These idiots were counter-protesting. Again, you have to ask yourself, if you're counter-protesting against tougher sentences for paedophiles, then you've got to question your worldview and if you're on the right side of history and that you're a good person. Because if you are counter-protesting tougher sentences for paedophiles, then you're not a good person. That is just objective fact. Look at all the police officers. None of the crowd are moving forward. There's no disturbance. They're all stood back. And yet this police officer here is moving Nick Tenconi back. Why? Why? Maybe people in the comments can ask me, what is the tactics behind this? What is the logic behind him doing this? Other than him being political and not liking what Nick is saying and abusing his powers as a police officer to silence a political opponent. This guy's out of control. He's out of control. And I know for certain it's the guy that converted to Islam. It is. Right. He looks angry there as well, doesn't he? At that bit there, he looks very angry. At this point, he starts shouting. The guy there, he's acting like a protester. He's acting like a protester here. He's acting like a protester. He's acting like an upset protester. He's heard something that he doesn't like, so he's going to abuse his police powers and push the man back because he doesn't like what he's saying. Anyway, just thought I'd show people that Nick Tenconi is a true leader. He stands with the people. That's why I'm going to be voting UKIP in any elections. So they need to start fielding candidates. I'll be supporting UKIP from now on. There's no doubts in my mind about that. And that's because Nick Tenconi has shown true leadership. He hasn't said he's going to do things. His actions are proving what he is as a person. He's standing toe-to-toe with the people. He's standing side by side with them against the enemies of this country. This is Vindicator, signing off.